Hello my sweeties and welcome back to my channel. If you don't already know me, my name is Celise and thank you for joining my spooky little family. In today's video, we will be talking about Speak No Evil. Let's get into the video. We're here.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. It's finally over.
We have been freed.
Yes.
From the Speak No Evil trailer.
This is the happiest I've been to see a movie all year, and I didn't even want to see the movie. I was just so done with this goddamn trailer.
No, this is true.
They started putting up billboards around our neighborhood of this movie. I felt like it was encroaching on us. Like at some point I was going to walk out and it was going to be on my license plate.
I felt like James McAvoy was threatening me.
Well, before we get too deep into it, what is this one about?
Directed by James Watkins, starring James McAvoy and Mackenzie Davis, Speak No Evil is about an American family that is invited to spend the weekend at the idyllic country estate of a charming British family they befriended on vacation. What begins as a dream holiday soon warps into a snarled psychological nightmare. It's exactly what the original film was about.
Yes. And I think we can start this review off by saying it is literally the exact same movie.
It is. It is the exact same movie.
Kind of.
I think we'll talk about performances first.
Okay, that's solid. We'll keep you guys waiting a little bit. We'll edge you.
So, to no surprise, James McAvoy is amazing. I always say, I truly believe it is an honor to get to watch this actor do his thing. I learned so much. I'm a big fan. Love everything he does. And he's great in this role. This feels like a role that was kind of made for him.
Yeah. And
he's really intense, to no surprise. Those neck muscles are always acting. And that I love. The neck muscles are serious. It adds to it.
Yeah, he's so great at just like being unsettling with his body language.
He also has a very sinister smile. He was very creepy in this movie. I also want to talk about Aisling Franciosi. I'm so sorry if I'm saying it wrong, but I am quite a fan of her. I've seen her in a lot of other things. Obviously, she's also in Stop Motion that came out earlier this year. And I think she's great. She did a great job. She had really good chemistry with James McAvoy. And again, I feel like she just nailed that role. But I do want to talk about who I think, outside of James McAvoy, is the star of this movie because love her, been riding for her for a while. Mackenzie Davis is phenomenal in this movie. And I do think that like her and James McAvoy were really like eating each other up. They were loving it. And I love that. It was so much fun to get to watch them together. They were so good. All her reactions, little subtle reactions to him saying inappropriate things, but trying to be like nice about saying inappropriate things. And she's like I just felt so seen because I am also someone that cannot hide their face when someone is clearly saying things inappropriate or some fuck shit. So I felt very, very seen.
Yeah, they're kind of the movie, honestly.
They are the movie. I will say also the actor who plays her husband, Scoot McNairy.
Wait, that's his name?
Yep, Scoot McNairy.
You know what? I'm not going to say anything. Continue.
He was good as well. I liked him. His character was a little bit
Picard.
Yeah, just a little pathetic. But he was good. He was good. I liked him. I liked the chemistry he had with James McAvoy. And I think that about wraps it up. We have a pretty small cast. The kids were great too. Love when kid actors are good.
Yeah, both of them are great.
They were both really good. They nailed it.
Anyway, listen. We're not going to do spoilers for this, right? I guess that's like you can't do spoilers. The whole movie is the twist.
Yeah, we're not going to do spoilers for this movie. It just came out gonna put this review up kind of early. And I mean, if you've seen the original film, there is nothing to spoil. It's the same movie.
Now, when we say it's the same movie, because I know as soon as we say that, people in the comments are going to be like, it's actually not the same movie because in this one, we get it. And that's what we're going to get to now, because there are some important differences that are really fun. And I think, one, are a little more palpable to American audiences, but also two, just kind of give us more meat about everyone. And it's a lot of fun. And I think for a remake, it's great.
Yes. I haven't seen the original film since it came out, but I do think that in this movie there was a lot more things that were a little bit more obvious than in the original film. I think in the original film there was a lot more subtleties where you're like, oh, maybe that's the case. And in this one they're pretty like direct about it. And they I was pleasantly surprised to see them add some gay subtext to this. And it made me very happy because James McAvoy was great.
And I think it kind of comes full circle in a funny way during the dinner scene when they go out to eat.
That's my favorite scene, actually. It's my favorite scene in the original film, and I really love it in this one. The dinner scene is great. It's so, like, uncomfortable. I love it.
And honestly, except for the ending, which we're going to get to, most of the changes in this version just kind of punch up the original script, you know? It really feels like just I don't want to say a tighter script, but it definitely moves a lot more like an American film.
It does.
Especially the dark comedy moments, like especially between Scoot and James. Their chemistry is explored a lot more in this one, and it's really fun. And they there's a specific scene in the car that they use as like a joke throughout the rest of the film, and it's fun. It's really fun.
It's very fun. Yeah, I love what they did with those two characters specifically. I think I actually like both of these films pretty equally, but I will say that while I like the change of the ending that they gave to this version, obviously the change they made here is definitely more suited to American audiences and American studios, because I do not think that an American studio would have done the ending that the original film does. Because, you know, I think they're too scared to get that intense. But I like it. I think it works. I will say that I think the ending in the original film is kind of a little bit more effective. It definitely is a different feeling that you have at the end of that movie versus this movie. This movie, the ending you feel is like, yeah. And the other one is like, ooh.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I feel so bad. I think I'm going to go to sleep.
The original really makes you feel gross.
It does.
And that honestly is my biggest issue with this film, actually.
Oh, wow.
Is really just the ending. I thought the third act kind of does get a little silly and drawn out.
It does. It gets a little bit cartoony.
I think the payoff with the original is that overall, like, the twist is definitely not contrived. You know, it is a relatively original twist. But the ending is really what solidifies the story, because without that kind of ending, this film kind of just boils down to essentially like a home invasion, kidnapping.
Yeah.
That was my main issue with this one. Because other than that, as I said, it's just the original movie just punched up a little bit more, which I loved, actually.
Yeah, I think both of these films have, while they are the same film, they both offer very different things for different people. Yes. And I think it's like totally valid if you prefer one or the other. But I will say that the third act gets a little bit, like, for me, it got a little bit exhausting. I was like,
I agree.
Okay, we could get to it now.
Well, honestly, for me, I very much like the original and the remake basically the same for different reasons up until that third act.
Interesting.
And I think the third act is not like a killer, but it definitely is a weak point of this remake.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Much like the original movie, this is not really like a gory movie, but in this version, they actually do something at the end that I was like, oh, okay, practical effects.
That part looked really great. Actually, that whole sequence,
It's great.
I liked it. I really liked that whole sequence with James McAvoy talking to the kid and their little like moment there. Like,
Yeah, I would just say it was kind of a little bit traumatizing just seeing the relationship that James McAvoy has to this child and the way he was treating this child. Really didn't love that. Felt a lot like Mackenzie Davis. Yeah. That about sums it up with my spoiler-free thoughts on Speak No Evil 2024. I still think it is crazy that we have a remake of a movie that came out in 2022 in 2024. They were like on that shit. They were like ready.
For real.
Like I think.
How well did that movie do?
I know. I don't know. But like I think we needed a little bit of time because it was just like a little bit too soon for me.
I would have done like 2027. Would have
Yeah,
been a good time
it was a little bit
it.
too soon to see this story again, but I'm happy that I liked it.
Though to be fair, if it would have came out in 2027, we would have started getting the trailer in 2025 and dealt with it for years. So I'm just happy it's done with already. You know?
That would have been so rough.
But listen, Spooky, I don't really think there's anything else we can say without spoiling this whole movie. So, what are you giving it?
I am going to be giving Speak No Evil 2024 3.5 levs out of 5. I had a good time. I was stuck between 3 and 3.5, but I definitely see myself revisiting this movie, especially in the summer. So, 3.5.
Yeah, solid. I was also going between 3 and 3.5. I think that I'm going to have to agree with you and give this one 3.5 levs out of 5. I really, really love the way that they punched up the first and second act.
Me too.
I love everything with James McAvoy and his characterization of the dad. And just overall, I really think it's solid. I just feel that the third act was a little too safe for American sentiment.
It was very safe.
It was just a little too contrived for me. But otherwise, I think it's a solid film. I would definitely say that the original edges it out a little bit more for me. But it's a great time, and I definitely recommend you see it. And probably you should go see it in the theaters.
I think so. I actually think this is a great movie to go see in the theaters. You should definitely do that if you've been contemplating it.
Hell yeah, brother.
Alright, you guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really helps me a lot. And be sure to click that little notification bell to be up to date every single time I upload. And let me know in the comments if you plan on seeing Speak No Evil, which film you prefer if you've already seen it. I'd love to talk about it. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.